So, what was my grandmother like? How would I describe my grandmother? Magnolia Williams Lockett, a sweet lady. My grandfather was talkative. He was outgoing. He was the guy that never met a stranger. My grandmother was a little different. She was more on the quiet and reserved side. She was a little more cautious when dealing with people, but still very kind hearted, still very compassionate and loving. She was especially loving towards her children and her grandchildren. She never ceased to let us know what a special place we held in her heart. When we would travel to Mississippi to visit our grandparents, my grandmother always made sure that the house was full of our favorite foods and our favorite beverages. Um, I always liked grape juice, Welch's grape juice, and every time we went to Mississippi, there was Welch's grape juice in the refrigerator. Neither one of them really cared for grape juice, but I cannot remember a time when I visited their home in Yazoo City, Mississippi, when there was not Welch's grape juice. And that's just a testimony of how much they cared about their grandchildren. When my grandmother would cook a meal, she always made sure that all of her grandchildren had their favorite. When she would cook a big holiday meal, she would make sure that she cooked a roast because my brother Jeffrey loved roast. She would make sure that there was some kind of bird, a turkey, a chicken, or something, because I guess I love birds, you know. My brother Jarvis likes a little bit of everything, so he was easy to please. She always made that famous macaroni and cheese. She always, when we got ready to leave Mississippi and head back to Texas, she always fried up a batch of fried chicken. And that would be our meal to snack on during our 7 hour commute from Yazoo City back to Fort Worth, Texas. Nobody could fry chicken better than my grandmother. She was an amazing woman. I think she was a good cook because her main ingredient was love. She was very wise. She always had stellar advice for her grandchildren. And one thing that she always taught me that sticks with me is one of her favorite sayings was, "To thine own self be true." And she always taught us that if you're going to do something, do it with all your might or don't do it at all. So those are things that my grandmother taught me that stick with me today. Uh, One of my favorite memories of my grandmother, because she was quiet and reserved, but she was so comical. I remember one time, me and my niece Deanna were down there and we wanted some pudding. And my grandmother said, I'll fix it for you later. Well, we were in a rush. We wanted our pudding right away. So we called ourselves making some pudding. And we thought it was instant pudding, but it was the kind that you have to go through all the processes and steps with. So it turned out real bad. And our grandmother said, "You gonna eat that there pudding since you messed it up and you were so impatient." So that was a rough experience because it was nasty and it made our stomachs hurt. But me and my niece still laugh about that.